everyone, welcome to lecture number 8. So yesterday we saw the Gauss's law. What does Gauss's law say? Gauss's law says for any closed surface the flux is equal to charge enclosed by it divided by epsilon naught, where epsilon naught is the permittivity of the free space. And things to remember in Gaussian theorem is it holds only for a closed surface, and the surface which we consider where we apply the Gaussian law is called your Gaussian surface. For example, in this question we made a surface like this. To make it a closed surface we extended this circle, so this is our Gaussian surface. In the same way, in this question, to make this sheet a closed surface we made it like this, so this will be called our Gaussian surface. So today we will see some applications of Gaussian law, some important applications of Gaussian theorem. So first we will see electric field due to infinite wire. As you can see, Gaussian theorem says phi is equals to q enclosed divided by epsilon naught, and we can write phi as E dot ds. E dot ds will be equal to q enclosed divided by epsilon naught. Using these two we can get the electric field in terms of q and epsilon. As you know, when we studied the linear charge distribution, we have already calculated electric field due to any infinite wire, and it comes out to be E is equals to 2k lambda divided by d, where lambda is the linear charge density and d is the distance where we want to calculate the net electric field. So here we will calculate electric field E due to any infinite wire with the help of Gaussian theorem. Suppose this is any infinite wire. By infinite wire we mean the wire of infinite length, means we don't know how long it is, and I want to calculate the electric field at a distance d from it. So if lambda is linear charge density, and here I want to apply the Gaussian theorem. What does Gaussian theorem says? Integration of E ds is equals to q enclosed divided by epsilon naught. And as you already know, to apply Gaussian theorem we need a closed surface. So here we can consider a closed surface like this, a cylinder, infinitely long cylinder. We can say this is our Gaussian surface in the case of infinite wire, as it covers the whole wire. If we have taken a small charge q, then Gaussian surface will be like a sphere only, and when it is a wire we can say q, n number of charges are linearly aligned like this, and if we imagine it in 3D, it will take the form of the cylinder. So here we have the Gaussian surface like this, or this is the point D. This is the point P where we want to calculate the electric field. Sorry, I have shifted it here. This is not the point, but this is a point. We will make the Gaussian surface which includes the point where we want to calculate the electric field. So D is this distance and P is this point. So the radius of the cylinder will be D, and if electric field, if we suppose the wire is positively charged, as you know, electric field from a positive charge is always radially outwards. So electric field from this infinite wire will be like this. So the direction of electric field will be in this way, and here also it will be in this way. So this is the direction of electric field, outward. We can say it is the direction of electric field, and you can see in a cylinder there are three surfaces: up surface, up, down, and this curved surface. So we have three surfaces here. We will calculate the electric field in three surfaces. First surface, I give it name 1, 2, 3. So phi, I will write phi as E dot ds This is the sign for closed integration. Closed means for closed surface. I will write it as E dot dA, and applying Gaussian theorem, this should be equal to Q enclosed. Enclosed means within the cylinder, divided by epsilon naught. And as you can see, there are closed surface and one top and other is bottom. So I can write this closed integral as one for close this curved surface E dA cos theta plus integration of top surface E dA cos theta, and again bottom surface, which I have indicated by 3. Integration bottom E dA cos theta. So now you will see the direction or the angle between E and dA component to calculate the theta. So for the curved surface, if I take the area vector of this curved surface, it will be outward. So the angle theta for this curved surface and electric field, as electric field is also outside, it is moving outward, and if I take perpendicular area vector to this curved surface, it will also be outside. So the angle between E and dA is 0 and cos 0 is 1. So I get E integration dA from here. And if I talk about the top surface, the direction of area vector is upward, and for bottom surface it is downward, dA and dA. So here the angle between electric field and area vector is 90 degree, and cos 90, you know, it is 0, and it is same for the bottom surface also. For bottom surface, E is in this direction and bottom area vector to the bottom is downward direction. So angle is again 90 degree. So we are only left with this integral E dot dA, and dA means the area of curved surface only, and phi is equals to Q upon epsilon naught, Q enclosed divided by epsilon naught. If I say the height of this cylinder is h, I have just supposed the height of this cylinder is h, then area of curved surface of cylinder is given by 2 pi RH, and in the place of Q I am writing Q only. Q upon epsilon naught is equals to E, and area of curved surface is given by 2 pi RH. What is R here? We will write D in the place of R, as you can see it from the figure, and 2 pi RH. So I get 2 pi DH here. And Q, as you know, if I want to calculate the total charge Q, it will be length into linear charge density. As you can see it from the figure, the height of this cylinder I have taken as h. So Q can be written as lambda into h, where h is the length of the cylinder and lambda is linear charge density. If I multiply these two, I will get the total charge enclosed by this Gaussian surface. I will call it a Gaussian surface. So lambda h divided by epsilon naught is equals to E into 2 pi. In the place of R, I will write D and H. H cancels out, and E comes out to be lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught D. So if I multiply and divide this equation by 2, I will get a 4 pi epsilon naught in the denominator, and 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught I denote it by K. What is K? It is Coulomb's constant, yes. And in the numerator I have 2 and lambda also, and denominator I will get a D. So from Gaussian theorem, by applying Gaussian theorem, I have calculated E as 2k lambda upon D. So if I calculate E from the formula, E is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R square, or I calculate it by using Gaussian theorem, I will get the same answer, that is 2k lambda upon D. So now we will see the next application of Gaussian theorem. Second is infinitely long charge sheet. As you can see from this figure, this is a charged sheet. As charge is distributed in the surface, so I will take sigma as surface charge density, and I want to calculate electric field at a point or at a distance r from it. So again, when I am applying the Gaussian theorem, I need a Gaussian surface. So to include this point in the Gaussian surface, I will take a Gaussian surface like this. In the both side of this charged sheet, I will consider a long cylinder. If this distance is r, in the opposite direction I will also take this distance as r. And as you know, it is a positively charged sheet, means direction of electric field will be in outward direction like this. Again I will consider 3 surfaces, 2 round surfaces or 1 this curved surface. I'll give it name 1, 2 and 3. So phi net will be equal to closed integration E dot dA, and E dot dA is again EdA cos theta is equals to integration E dA cos theta. Now I will divide this integral into 3 parts. Number 1, for first surface, the angle between E and dA. As you know, for this curved surface, A is in this direction, so theta angle is 0, so it will give us cos 0 is 1, E dot dA cos theta, cos 0 for surface number 1. And for surface 2, as you know, area vector will be like this and E is outside, so angle will be 90 degree. This will give us E dA cos 90 degree, which will be 0. And for third surface, you can see it from figure, area vector will be outward, and you can see electric field vector is also in the same direction. So for this, theta will be 0 again. It will give us EdA. And from Gaussian theorem, we know phi is equals to Q upon epsilon naught, or phi is equals to Q enclosed upon epsilon naught. Q enclosed divided by epsilon naught. To find out this Q enclosed, we need sigma and area. So I will write it as sigma into A. So from these two, I can write it as Q enclosed divided by epsilon naught. As you know, value of E or magnitude of E will be same, so I can write it as EA, 2EA. So in the place of Q epsilon naught, I will write sigma into A divided by epsilon naught will be equal to 2 into EA. AA cancels out and E comes out to be sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. Sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. So this is independent of R. Independent of R. So by applying Gaussian theorem, we can also find the electric field due to infinite long charge sheet. Next is electric field due to conducting shell. As you know, by conducting we mean if it has a charge q, it will come to this surface only, and if the charge density is sigma, we will see three cases: one inside the conducting shell, one in the surface of conducting shell, and one is out of the conducting shell. First is inside it. Suppose this is your conducting shell. As you know, in a conducting shell, charge lies only in the outer surface only, and inside it, if I want to calculate the electric field at this point, I will make a Gaussian surface here. This is your Gaussian surface, and according to Gauss's law, E for a closed surface, EDS is equals to Q enclosed divided by epsilon naught, and Q enclosed is 0 here, so I will get EDS is equal to 0 upon epsilon naught is equals to 0. So from this equation I will get E is equals to 0 for inside the surface. Inside a conducting shell, electric field will be 0. Next is on the surface. This is your conducting shell, and I want to calculate the electric field at this point, which is C. So for C, the surface itself will be the Gaussian surface, and according to Gauss's law, E dot ds is equals to Q enclosed upon epsilon naught, and I can write it as E ds cos theta. What will be the angle theta? As you know, E is outward. This is the direction of E, and same is the direction of the area vector. So I will get a cos 0 here is equals to, now Q enclosed. If sigma is the surface charge density, then Q will be equal to sigma into area. And what is the surface area of this sphere? That is sigma 4 pi r square, capital R square. So I will write sigma into 4 pi r square here divided by epsilon naught, and in this cos 0 is 0, it will come out and it will become integration ds is equals to sigma 4 pi r square divided by epsilon naught. And you know, ds is the area, surface area. Again, surface area is 4 pi r square, and in the right side of this equation we have sigma into 4 pi r square divided by epsilon naught. So 4 pi r square, 4 pi r square cancels out, so we get E is equal to sigma upon epsilon naught for a conducting sphere on its surface. And we can write sigma in terms of Q as Q divided by 4 pi r square. So I can write it as 4 pi epsilon naught r square. So this I get from Gaussian law. Third is outside. If this is your conducting surface and I want to calculate electric field at this point, which is situated at a distance r from it, so for applying Gauss's law in this question, I need to create a Gaussian surface. So for this point, I will create a Gaussian surface like this. Again, on applying Gaussian theorem, E dot ds is equals to Q enclosed divided by epsilon naught. Q enclosed divided by epsilon naught. Here E comes out and it is left with ds. As you know, the angle between E and ds is again 0. So I am left with ds here. And Q enclosed, I write it as Q only. Q enclosed divided by epsilon naught. So for this Gaussian surface, what is the value of ds? It is 4e into 4 pi small r square, and Q enclosed is sigma 4 pi capital R square divided by epsilon naught. Or I can write this whole as q only, q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. So this is the formula when point is situated outside, at any point outside the Gaussian surface. What type of Gaussian surface is it? It is a conducting shell. Next application of Gaussian theorem is electric field due to non-conducting solid sphere. The difference between conducting and non-conducting is this, that for a conducting sphere, charge lies outside the surface, and for non-conducting solid sphere, it is uniformly distributed over its volume. So if volume density is rho, volume density is equals to rho, and this is any charged non-conducting solid sphere. So we will see three cases here: inside it, at the surface, on the surface, and outside it. So first case is inside it. So if the radius of this sphere is denoted by capital R, and I want to calculate the electric field at any point which lies inside at a distance of small r, I will first create a small Gaussian surface, and inside it, to calculate the electric field inside it, I will use Gaussian theorem. Gaussian theorem says E dot ds is equals to q enclosed divided by epsilon naught. As you can see it from the figure, q enclosed will be the charge enclosed within the small sphere. If I am calculating electric field inside it, I will take only this small sphere. So for this small sphere, if I take the angle between electric field and area vector, this will again be 0 degree. So I am left with this equation, E ds cos 0, and q enclosed. If the volume charge density is denoted by rho, then total charge enclosed by this small surface of radius r is given by q is equals to volume charge density and volume of the small sphere. So what will be the volume of small sphere? It will be 4/3 pi small r cube into rho divided by epsilon naught, and from this equation I get E ds will be denoted by surface area of this sphere. It will be 4 pi r square only. So I get E into 4 pi r square is equals to 4/3 pi r cube into rho divided by epsilon naught. 4 pi gets cancelled by this 4 pi. R cube, 1 r square is cancelled out with r cube, and 1 r remains here. So I get E as rho into r divided by 3 epsilon naught. This will be the electric field inside a non-conducting solid sphere. Next we will see what will be the electric field at its surface. At surface, the radius, if I want to calculate the electric field at this point, and this is non-conducting sphere, then Gaussian surface will be this sphere itself, and E dot ds will be equal to E ds cos theta again. So I will get E ds is equals to q divided by epsilon naught, and ds will be 4 pi capital R square for this sphere. 4 pi r square is equals to q upon epsilon naught. So at the surface, E comes out to be q upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Next we will see outside the surface. Third case is outside the surface. So for the outside, as you know, this is our real sphere which is non-conducting, and I want to calculate electric field at a distance r from it. the distance small r. So by applying Gaussian theorem, we get E dot ds is equals to q upon epsilon naught, and the angle between E and ds is 0 again. So I am left out with this equation, q upon epsilon naught. Now ds is 4 pi small r square for this Gaussian surface. So I get 4 pi r square is equals to q upon epsilon naught. Finally, we get q upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square. This is the electric field outside the surface. This is all for today. Today we saw some applications of Gaussian's theorem. First we saw the electric field due to infinite long wire, which comes out to be E is equals to 2k lambda divided by d, where d is the distance where we calculated electric field. Secondly, we saw the electric field due to infinitely long charge sheet, and for a charge sheet, sigma was the surface charge density, and the electric field was independent of the distance r, as E comes out to be sigma upon 2 epsilon naught there. And thirdly, we saw the electric field due to a conducting shell. As you know, for a conducting shell, the charge lies outside or at the surface. So we saw three cases there. First, inside it electric field was 0, and for on the surface, and then outside it. Last, we saw the electric field due to non-conducting sphere. As we know, for a non-conducting sphere, the charge, if the volume charge density is rho, it is uniformly distributed over it, and we calculated the electric field inside, at the surface, and outside the surface. So this is all for today. Now we close our lecture. Thank you.